In this video, we're going to discuss filters. Filters are another way to slice up our data so we can continue to get specific data sets that are relevant to our objectives. And while segmentation is used to move from one report to another, filters are great for slicing up individual reports and looking at the data table more specifically. So I'm here on the All Traffic report, which can be found under Acquisition in the left-hand report menu. And then we'll look at source medium to see where our traffic is coming from. And we'll scroll down to the table view so you can see that we have our traditional information down below. The primary dimension is source medium. And then we have the metrics, sessions, new user percentage, bounce rate, and others. This should all look pretty familiar to you by now. Even though we're not in the location report, things definitely look similar. But what I want to look at is how we can go about filtering this data a bit. At the top of the table view is a search bar, and using this is our most basic filtering. This report is showing us where our traffic is coming from. Well, say we'd like to restrict this report to only show us traffic that comes from a referral. What we can do is write referral in the search box and then hit enter. And now the only data listed is from referrals. See how every source has a / and then referral? Google is looking for that keyword in each source and applying that filter so that's all we see. And along the top of the table, you can see Google summarizes the data just like in our other reports. But this time, the summary is just for the filter that I've applied. Okay, I'm going to remove this filter so we can look at a more complicated filter. And you can see the data in the table changed back. Let's say we want to see all referral traffic again, but this time no traffic referred from Google. So to do that, we need to look at advanced filtering. Let's select the advanced link next to the filter search field. And we'll begin by building what is known as filter queries. Google helps out a little bit by giving us a bit of a template. So let's go through the dropdowns. On the far left, the include dropdown allows us to include or exclude a parameter. And then we have in the next box the parameter that we will be including or excluding. And these can be either a dimension or a metric. And remember, metrics are numbers and dimensions are characteristics that can't be quantified. They're qualities like location or language. And we have a bunch of options in the dropdown. Then there's a dropdown that gives us options on how to match, like containing, exact match, begins with, ends with, etc. And then we have an open field for us to write what we're filtering. You may notice that we only have one dimension available to filter, and that's because we're restricted to the dimension we're viewing within. We can add another dimension by applying a secondary dimension to the table. I'm going to stay with source medium and include and contains referral. And then I'll save it. And when we get back to the table view, we're looking at the same data view that we looked at before by using the basic filter box. I wanted to mention too that the reason why I used contains in the filter and not exact match is because there are other things in the source name like the URL of the source. And if I chose exact match, it would have filtered everything out because there's no URL that's simply named referral. So like I said, we took a more complicated route to get to the same view as before. Oh, and to verify that we're using the filter, take a look in the basic filter search box. It says advanced on, and that's how we know. But we're not done because what we want to do is find all referrals except those that are coming from Google. So I'll choose Edit next to the filter field. This brings me back into Advanced Filter. And this time, I'll choose a dimension again. It's the same one, Source Medium. But this time, I'm going to choose Exclude because we don't want Google referrals. And then I'll choose Contains, and then Google. When finished, we apply the filter. And now let's go back to the table view. There is no more data showing up that pertains to referrals from Google. So that's how you build a filter to slice the data into referrals except those coming from Google. And there are a ton of ways to go about filtering your data. And every business has different data needs. It's really up to you to figure out what's most relevant to your business. We could add in another filter. Let's say this time we choose a metric. And let's say we'd like to filter out any bounce rates that are lower than 90% because we're trying to look at problem bounce rates. So we choose Edit Again. And this time we're choosing a metric, the metric bounce rate. And we want to exclude bounce rates less than 90. And then we hit Apply. And the sessions now reflect this new filter. But with this filter, I can start asking why bounce rates from these referrals are so high, and then maybe do something about it. It's possible that users from these referral sources are not getting what they're looking for. The next thing I want to look at is and versus or filtering. And or filtering gives us some advanced filtering opportunities in the filter view. Let me give you an example. I'm going to delete our advanced filter here. Now, say I'd like to filter my data to show two things at once. For instance, I'd like to see traffic from Google and Facebook, but only traffic from Google and Facebook. So I'm back in advanced filtering. And conventional wisdom would say that we add in a filter that includes Google. So that's what we'll do. We'll include source medium containing Google. And then add another dimension, which is include source medium again, contains Facebook. And now watch what happens when I apply this filter. There's no data. And the reason why is there's no such thing as data that's coming from both Google and Facebook at the same time. It's either coming from one or the other, but not both. So what we need to do is actually change the statement from an and statement. See now how both filters are an and? We need to change it to an or statement. We want data from Google or Facebook only. And to do that, we need to only use one filter. So I'm going to remove the second Facebook filter, and we need to use what's known as matching expressions. In the first query, we keep the first two dropdowns just the same, include and source medium, because those are both correct. Then in the third dropdown, instead of containing, we choose matching reg exp. And then we keep Google in the box, but we need to include the pipe symbol, which is the straight bar under the delete key. And then add in Facebook. The pipe symbol means or. Then, when done, we select Apply, and voila, the data table now reflects Facebook and Google sources. But say we don't want the organic source and the CPC source, that's cost per click. So that refers to Google Ads. We can still filter those out by going back into advanced filters. And again, I can use an or statement. So I'll choose source medium again and exclude this time. And then we want an or statement. So we'll choose matching reg exp and then organic, pipe symbol, and CPC. Then I'll choose apply. Now the table data only includes referrals from Facebook and Google. That's how using or statements can help us include select data. And you can mix it in with other or filters or even other and filters if you like.